Hey yogis, welcome back and thanks so much for joining me for today's class. I'm Sarah and I'll be guiding you through a full body tension relieving flow. Together we'll find movement through our body, releasing aches and pains in our muscles and allowing us to flow through our day with a little more comfort and ease. So starting in child's pose, keeping our knees together, as comfortably together as you can. Sitting back on your mat a little bit so there's more space out in front of you for your arms. We're going to begin to send the hips towards the heels and walk the arms out in front of you and begin to melt your forehead down towards the mat. Just beginning to allow the weight of the body to become heavy and sink into the mat. Becoming aware of how everything feels. Noticing those areas of the body that you're holding onto tension. Noticing any tight areas. Any areas of discomfort. Just becoming aware of the parts of the body that we want to focus on for our class today. Maybe it's the hips, or the lower back, or the shoulders, or maybe it's the mind. Just notice, becoming aware, and taking this moment for you. And begin to stretch our arms down behind us so our fingertips point towards our toes. Interlace your fingers behind your back as you begin to draw the arms up towards the sky, so the knuckles are pressing up towards the ceiling. And your hips are nice and heavy. We're opening through the shoulders and opening through the chest. Either staying here if you want to take it a little bit deeper, if you've no neck pain at all today, gently begin to lift the heels, the hips away from the heels, coming up onto the head as we work a little bit deeper into our shoulders, drawing the chest nice and open, stretching through the arms, finding space through the body. And exhale, gently begin to allow the hips to lower towards the heels and begin to use your arms to bring yourself up to seating. Nice and tall on your heels. Release the hands and stretch the arms up and overhead. Palms touch. And draw the arms down in front of your heart center. Lovely. We're just going to begin to work deep into the shoulders, finding some space and really making nice room and comfort and ease. Just begin to draw the right arm across the body and use your left arm to guide your right arm closer towards the body. Begin to lock over the right shoulder and allow the right shoulder to soften, become a little bit heavier as you work deep into that right shoulder blade. Releasing any knots, any tension. Gently release, making your way to the next side, drawing the left arm across the body, using the right hand to guide it a little bit closer. And again, drop to that left shoulder first. And begin to look to the left. Really deep, intense pose into the shoulders. Great for working on any knots, any deep knots in the shoulders. Breathing into the stretch and releasing on the exhale. And then gently and softly release the arms down, just shrugging through the shoulders to let go and bring some movement back into the body. We're going to plant the hands out in front of you on the mat, lift the hips away from the heels and tuck the toes under. Begin to sit back towards the heels. making sure all toes are tucked under, including little baby toes. We're not leaving anybody out here. So sitting back towards the heels, stretching deeply into the toes. This might feel like quite enough for you today. It's quite intense and quite deep on the toes. So if this is enough, stay exactly as you are. This is perfect. If you want to take it deeper, you can begin to walk the arms up to the legs, stretch the arms up and overhead, and draw the hands down through heart center. We're going to take a bit of a flow with the arms and work into the chest. If it becomes a little bit too intense on the toes, you can always come back down to sitting on the heels. So we're going to begin to extend and open through the chest, drawing the arms back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. As we inhale, begin to lock up. Slight arch in the spine. And exhale as you round through the spine, drop the gaze, closing the arms. Palms come together. Inhale, begin to open, arching, extending. Nice open chest. Exhale slowly and softly around. Inhale, open, floating the body open. And exhale, softly round. Once again, inhale, floating, trying to keep the movement nice and fluid. So we're not jamming our body into any of these poses, but we're keeping nice fluid movement. So we inhale, we open up, nice arch of the spine. Exhale, rounding, drop the gaze. Once again, inhale, floating open, locking up. And exhale, softly close. This time as we open, we're going to hold here at the top. Gently lengthen through the spine, bring the gaze back to neutral, bending at the elbows. So bringing the arms into cactus, we're going to begin to draw the arms closed. So the palms face each other. Draw your right arm under your left. So we're going to interlace it around, and maybe you can press the palms together. Or maybe if not, you can take hold of the wrist or draw the arms across the body. So if you have really tight shoulders, you can just take hold, hugging onto the shoulder blades with the arms. So wherever you are, we're going to begin to drop the shoulders. Lift the elbows, and if you're interlacing the hands, you can begin to send the arms away from the face. And then just drop the head. Really lovely, intense pose for the shoulder blades. Allowing that tension to melt out of the muscles. Imagining with each breath, you're releasing. The knots are unwinding. And you're melting any pain, any tension. Last breath. And gently release the arms. If you haven't already, we're going to come off the toes nice and gently. Plant the hands in front of you and gently tap out the tops of the feet. If the toes did cramp at all or you feel like they're about to, it's completely normal. We spend very little time releasing tension to our toes and our feet, yet we do spend an awful lot of time wearing them quite hard. It's nice to give them a little bit of love, a little bit of care and attention. From here, sitting back on our heels, we're going to work through the fronts of our feet, so into our ankles. So bring your hands back behind you. Now this right here might be enough. If it is, lovely, just stay here, work on opening through the ankles. If you want to take it deeper, you can begin to come down onto the forearms, resting down, and begin to lift the knees away from the mat. So the more you lift the knees away from the mat, the more intense and deep this pose works into your ankles. You can drop the chin towards the chest and just begin to soften. Begin to relax and ease into the pose. Keeping that nice, smooth breath. And gently coming out, planting both hands, walking back up. If you're not here already, and walk the arms out in front of you. And make our way from here into Sphinx pose. So begin to extend the legs long on the mat, coming down onto our bellies and planting our elbows in line under our shoulders. Inhale as we lift and lengthen through the chest. And just take a moment to notice the lower back. If you have any tension or sharp pains in the lower back, just walk the legs a little bit wider on the mat. Take that weight off the lower back. So once you find your pose in your Sphinx, inhale once again, lift and lengthen through the chest. And as you exhale, we begin to drop the right shoulder and look over to the left. So we do a very gentle twist as we look over the left shoulder. The right shoulder begins to drop in towards the middle of the mat. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, look over to the right, drop the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, coming back to the center, nice open chest to the middle. And exhale to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the left. Lovely. One more either side. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, twisting to the right. Inhale. Last one. Exhale, looking to the left. Lovely. Coming back to center, back into our Sphinx. We're going to flow in and out of seal pose. So bring your hands over towards the edges of the mat. We're going to begin to lift on the inhale, the elbows away from the mat. So inhale, begin to lift and lengthen, open through the chest. Nice deep inhale at the top. Exhale, gently soften the elbows down towards the mat. Inhale, lift and lengthen, tuck the tailbone under. Exhale, gently lower. Inhale, lift and open up. And exhale, soften. Inhale, lift and open. Exhale, release. Last one. Inhale, open up into seal pose. Lovely. And exhale, soften back down. Making our way from here into half frog, so keeping your elbows in line under the shoulders. Gently begin to bend at the right knee, bring it in line with the hip, and keeping the foot flexed as you keep the ankle in line under the knee, dropping the hip towards the mat. Lift and lengthen through the chest. Keeping a nice straight spine. Inhale and exhale, soften the hips. Inhale and exhale, soften, release the left knee back to center and begin to draw the right knee in line with the hip. Flex the right foot, your foot is in line with the knee. And return to your breath. Softening on the exhale as we lengthen and lift on the inhale. Finding space to our hips. Unwinding and releasing. Lovely, draw the right knee back to center. We're going to plant both hands onto the mat as we lift ourselves back up. We're just going to swing our legs around in front of us as we make our way into Baddha Konasana. So the soles of our feet touch. We're going to take hold of our ankles with both hands. As we inhale, find length through the spine and begin to drop the knees heavy towards the mat. Don't worry how far down the knees come. Just make sure that we're keeping nice length through the spine. As we inhale, we're going to begin to hinge the body forward just slightly, just so we gently begin to open up through the lower back. So inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, gently begin to hinge forward. So we're not rounding through the spine, but we're keeping that nice open chest. You can use your elbows to plant to the inside of the legs to create a bit more space in between the body. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, hinge forward. Nice long spine, nice open body. Opening through the pelvis, deep into the hips. With each exhale, see if you can hinge forward and come a little bit further down. And just noticing how this feels. And gently release, coming back up. And from here, we're going to make our way to lying flat on the mat. So draw your knees close together. Bring your hands behind you. Making our way down onto our backs. Nice and gently, no rush at all. Coming down onto the mat. We're going to heel to our feet, walking them as wide as the mat. And from here, we're going to drop our knees over towards the right. Begin to drop the knees towards the right side of the mat. And bring your right foot, your right ankle is going to rest on top of the left knee. Just for deeper guide to really open deeply into that hip. Bringing the arms into cactus, so bending at the elbows. Palms face towards the sky. And bring the head over to look to the left. Gently close the eyes. And then begin to relax and soften. Allowing the shoulders to be heavy. Softening through the forehead. Soften through the jaw. Relaxing the shoulders. Allowing the fingertips to nicely and naturally curl. And gently bring your head back to center. We're going to release that top leg. Bring the knees back up and just drop them over towards the left. Plant your left ankle on top of the right knee and look to the right, twisting in the opposite direction. A nice spinal twist to release and let go, melting the muscles. Beginning to really let go of any effort. Allowing the body to unwind and naturally release in its own time. Gently bring the head back to center. Unwind the legs once again and hug both knees in towards the body. Squeezing the knees in, wrap the arms around the knees if you can, rocking side to side, shaking out any tension in the hips. Massage the lower back into the hips. And then when you're ready, we're going to make our way into our final resting pose, into Shavasana. Extend the legs long on the mat. Take up as much space as you need to. The arms come out either sides of the body. Palms face the sky, shoulder blades are nestled, tucked under the body. Toes flop heavy, and you completely let go of any effort. Allow the body to rest and really tie every pose we've done together into our final pose. I encourage you to stay in your Shavasana in stillness for as long as you can to really reap the rewards of your class. Thank you very much for joining me for today's practice. I look forward to seeing you again on the mat very soon. Namaste.